Okay, it's Saturday, the 18th of January 2024. This is Nobby's 36 Ford pickup project update for the year 2025. Okay, so what kicked me in the ghoulies was changing the front axle and having to drop the steering arms. Now, I'm just going to run through you what this is all about, because, okay, first of all, I'm going to be putting a V6 with a small, short, manual 5-speed box with the tail of a transit van, a UK transit van, a United Kingdom European transit van. Now, the gearbox is really short, and you know you always want the shifter, the distance between here and here, quite shallow. So where it's more to do with where the bent seat ends, the stick is, you know, not where your leg would be, if you like, when you want to slide across the bent seat. That's all I can think about. But anyway, we've got a V6 Cosworth engine, 2.9 cc's, 2900 cc's, 2.9 litre, a 5-speed MT75 V6 Sierra gearbox, and a transit end. The transit ends, though, because it's an MT75 transit gearbox, the remote on a Sierra 4-wheel drive box puts the stick back here. You know, it wouldn't be any good for me. The trouble is I've got a 4-bolt prop, which is quite... Hello. I never noticed that. It was just... You're good, you are. So anyway, right, so I've made my engine mounts. It's been in before. I made the engine mounts. Click. The engine's gone in before. So getting back to everything, the beauty of it all is I don't have to split the wishbone because my gearbox is so small, you see? Now, because it's a 36 Ford, it's got a 36 wishbone, unsplit. Now that is a 36 wishbone. It snakes out like this. Snakes out. Right, 1935, 1936, 1937, 8, 9 and 40, and in 41 pickups they use the same spring. This is a reverse eye posy spring, a 2040L. 2040 just means it's 2 inch lower for 1940 and it's low. Don't know really what that means. This is just a reverse eye 2040. They're only 200 quid and brand new with the Teflon buttons and the little plastic sliders. You know, it's just comfort. But the idea behind everything is, okay, look, because it's a stock 36 wishbone, this spring perch from here to the other side is 36.5 inches. Okay, and the distance between here and here, between the perch distance is 2 inches. So you can buy an aftermarket forged SoCal or Roadster Supply axle, £550 in the UK from John Golding in the South End. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. It's so lovely, you wouldn't believe it. I've let mine go rusty, I can't believe it. Okay. Now, everything then becomes stock. I'm going to throw the numbers out to you. A 36.5 inch perch is stock for early Fords. So when you get the 47.5 inch wide, 47.25 inch wide axle, it's a bit lower than this one, and it's a 34 inch perch, right? 34 inch perch. So you have to split the wishbone or run hairpins and get a narrower over spring, a 29.25 inch spring. But we're 35 to 40, so don't worry about all of that schmoo. Right, you have to get, because it's a 2 inch perch, you have to get the perch pins, the flat top perch pins, with a sliding conical taper, not the washer or the jam nut. You've got to get them. Anyway, right, these are the numbers you need, and I'll show you. If you buy your SoCal axle, 550 quid, it's worth it, man. It's so nice. But then you buy stock, you find stock spindles with stock forged steering arms, right? Now I'm lucky enough to have a right-hand drive pair. As you can see, my steering wheel's on the right. Okay, it's a right-hand drive steering box from a Jeep Cherokee XJ. It's a Saginaw 800 series. Okay. That's a stock 35 to 40 drag link, and that's a stock 1937 to 40 tie rod end, okay? And because the distance between this kingpin here and this kingpin here is 48 inches, a 37 to 40 stock is 48.5 inches, right? So I've literally, all I've done is I've come in at 1/4 of an inch aside, okay? But I'm low. Do you understand? Yes, dear. So I'm a 1/4 of an inch over. If I put the stock 37, 35 and 36 inch axle in, they're 50.5, you see? I'm an extra 1.5 inches over. No inch more than that, I'm over there with my kingpin. And then my tyre is sticking out of the fender. If you can see that, you see that my tyre will be sticking out of my fender or touching the fender. So now fitting that axle means I don't have to split the wishbone. I have to use a 35 to 36 wishbone stock rather than a 40 that would be here. Okay, this is lovely, this is lovely. The shock would touch, right? See them funky shock pins, right? Oh, I'm actually on there. Right, you see, that's on full lock. See my spindle nuts? My spindle, I've actually got spindle stops. See? And I'm that far away from my frame, it's perfect, 1/2 inch. You don't want to be a fag paper, okay, because suspension movement and all that, and going around corners, and all that cobblers. But that's perfect. That's about 45 degrees on the inside wheel for Ackerman is great. I mean, it's not dialed in, but that's not the same amount, but that's the tracking concentric circle from the centre of the circle through the rear axle over there somewhere. Right, getting back to it. You see the spring shackle pin, the spring shackle pin for the shock is actually on the spring. Should really be on the bone, but it's there, okay, just to make all this nice, if you get me, because this will collapse where it mounts here. Will be further backwards, just because there's no engine weight. So this isn't finished really, because the top of the shock won't sit there. When the spring compresses a bit with the engine weight, and this will come much closer to the frame. It'll be really low. It'll be brilliant. It'll be super. But what am I trying to say is, okay, right. So let's just recap, because I just lost my train of thought. Okay. We know all about your board just in a shaft with your steering wheel that takes the Grant adapter inside, and this being a stock, not a stock, but an aftermarket Borgeson 57 Chevy conversion in a column, right? With a 1.75 inch outer bit of steel, BMX bottom bracket bearings. You've got to get a Lineworks drop because they're the only ones that fit, and it just looks great. If you can look in there to the splines, you see the splines in the bottom of the shaft. There's no welding on the shaft, you get me? It's got a GM threaded taper, GM spline taper at the top, General Motors, for a Grant adapter, that are 10 a penny, and it's 36 splines here. This is a Borgeson double joint, okay, with a 30, these power steering boxes, right-hand drive Jeep Cherokees, a 30 spline 3/4. Right, I'm going to stop there because the video is getting a bit long.